Hello and welcome to another episode of the Farr Show, where I'm Baby Farr, and we're in a completely different place for the new year. We're not going to be here all the time. This is a wall with posters and everything. I mean, that's really all I got for you. We're not going to be here all the time, like I said. This is going to be hopefully a one-off situation. Well, technically a two-off, because the rundown's going to happen here as well. So let's start talking about what I planned on talking about. First off, we're really close for the camera. But we got a tablet with a card instead, and it's not going to focus, which is okay. It should be focusing on me because, well, let's be honest, I'm the star. So, we're talking about a couple of different things here. First, we're talking New Year's resolutions. So these are ones that I want to do with this show and other things kind of related to this show. So, continue to improve the overall quality of the show, which is better editing, better set overall here. We're starting the Way Too Much podcast, which I'm excited to do. I think this is going to be one of the coolest things that I do. Then, I'm going to start streaming on Twitch more often. At least once a week, I'm hoping. At least once a week. The Way Too Much podcast is going to be every week or every other week. I'm not certain the exact dates yet, but we're going to figure that out as we go on here. Then, post more videos on my personal channel, which I don't talk about much here because, well, once again, it's nowhere near as cool as this. No more, I mean, this is weird stuff here and there, but that's really weird stuff, is how I like to put it. So, one per month, hopefully. Work on a music album, hopefully release it this year as well. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm no musician. I write songs, lyrics-wise, but don't do anything with them, so we'll see what I do. Write an independent film as well. Doesn't mean make it. And start going to the gym. That's a personal one, honestly. So, what are your New Year's resolutions? Tell me in the comments below. Now let's get to our main topic. We're talking best films of 2020. So, this is a weird year. Or last year was a weird year. I'm filming this beforehand, but you know, it's been a weird year for film. I mean, there hasn't been much out. I mean, there's been some things out here and there, but not enough. So, I only saw 15 new movies this year. So we're talking every movie I saw is on this list. Instead of 10, I normally did like the worst, I think I did the worst one and then top 10. Well, there's only 15 movies, so I thought might as well do them all. So, in last place, we have Doolittle, where I gave it an F. This movie is bad. Like, I expected a little bit more quality, but there was no quality whatsoever. So the fact that this movie's on this list is only because, well, there's not much else here. Then we got The New Mutants, which is an F as well. This movie I expected to be bad. Why is it higher than Doolittle? I expected it to be bad. Part of me wants to put it higher. But we're getting other ones, which Doolittle, let's start off here. Why is that so low? Well, Robert Downey Jr. is in it right off the MCU stuff here. Like, this is his movie to, I don't know, kind of keep him at bay until the MCU calls him back. And, well, this is a terrible movie. Doesn't really use any of his acting prowess. He's got a terrible accent. The movie's just bad. Then The New Mutants, like I said, I expected it to be bad. I reviewed it. I don't know if it's the worst X-Men movie, but I expected it to be bad once again. So, I'm okay with it being the second worst movie of the year. Then we got An American Pickle, which I saw on HBO Max. Terrible movie. This year has been weird for movies once again. This was on streaming only, so this was on HBO Max exclusively. So, I think it was just bad, for lack of a better term. The concept was kind of cool, but wasn't really executed well. As I said in the review, it just kind of became a one-upsmanship. Then we got Birds of Prey, which this movie was also bad. I was expecting a little bit better than Suicide Squad, and it was a little bit better than Suicide Squad, but that's still not saying much. Margot Robbie's great, though. I think she's great. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is in this movie, and she's good too, so I think it was kind of cool to see those in there. The Midnight Sky, this is one of the most recent ones on this list. These other ones came out pretty early in the year, other than American Pickle came out with HBO Max and stuff like that. We got The Midnight Sky, which is I'm thinking of the Tom Hanks movie that I'm not seeing this year. But the George Clooney directed movie where it's pretty much The Martian in reverse. I would not recommend it, just an FA once again. Then we got Happiest Season, which is an FA as well. This was Kristen Stewart's romantic comedy on Hulu. I thought it was okay. I mean, it could have definitely been a lot worse, but it could have definitely been a lot better. I was expecting a lot from it for some reason. I don't know why. I didn't see anything about this movie until one ad on TV, and then was like, I should see this. And then kind of regret seeing it. I feel like I wasted about 2 hours, but still better than some of these movies. Better than Midnight Sky, which I feel is just kind of a rip-off of the Martian, just in reverse. Then we got Bill and Ted Face the Music. I didn't know where to put this one lower than the next one, but I put it here. I got this one as an FAR on the card, but the more I think about it, the more it should be an FA, honestly. Then we got Bad Boys for Life. That one is also an FARR on here, or an FAR, excuse me. I'm thinking about putting it as an FA. As time has gone on, some of these movies just haven't, I wouldn't say aged well, they just haven't, they just don't feel like they deserve to be that great anymore. So, I mean, we're on now 7, and I feel like this is the first actual one that I can say is an FAR, which is Sonic. I was surprised with this movie. I didn't think it'd be good at all, and Jim Carrey nailed it. The Sonic CGI was really cool. It was more cartoony than the original, which is fine. That makes sense. Then you got Palm Springs, which is probably the best streaming original movie that I've seen this year. When I say probably, there's one that came out later on that's going to be on this list, but that was originally supposed to come to theaters, so it's kind of Disney's attempt at putting it somewhere where they could get it viewed. But Palm Springs is like Groundhog Day, just he brings somebody else into Groundhog Day, and I thought it was great. I would love to own this movie, but it's going to be on Hulu for a while. Then we got Onward, which is Pixar's movie where it's Chris Pratt and Tom Holland and they reconnect with their father, which hit home for me. I think it was one of the best animated films of the year. If this one didn't come out, which is Soul. I've been talking about, well, you know, best streaming service movie. This would probably be it. Originally, though, I don't think this was supposed to be a streaming service movie. So, I mean, you know, it would have probably been a theater movie if, you know, we didn't have what's going on right now. Then we got Wonder Woman 1984. This is the last FAR movie on this list. And I think, honestly, I kind of want to do a review on it, but pretty quickly. I liked it. It's really campy, and I really like campiness because I grew up with Adam West Batman. I watched Adam West Batman all the time, so I feel like this is the great way to kind of keep it realistic, but also have the campiness, and I liked it. So that was cool. Then we got FARR. There's 2 movies on here, and one of them's kind of a stretch because, well, limited release. We'll get to that. Tenet, great movie. For some reason, I think of the Nolan trilogy as Inception, Interstellar, and Tenet. So I like to think Inception takes place, then it's Tenet, and then it's Interstellar. That's just my stupid theory. Who knows if it's true? It's probably not true, but I like to think it. And then finally, we got the best movie of the year, FARR, 1917. And I know what you're saying, Damien, that came out last year. It did, yes, but I didn't see it until earlier this year. It was a limited release movie, so I kind of waited and finally saw it and loved it. Saw it twice in the theater. Only movie this year that I've seen twice in the theater other than Sonic the Hedgehog, ironically enough. So, what do you think? What are your favorite movies of, well, when I say this year, I mean last year, meaning 2020. What are your favorite movies? Tell me in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and have a far off night.